Today's movie's a special request from Patreon supporter SmashGuy96. Named after his grandfather, I'm assuming. Anyway, he asked me to review the movie Reptilian. And this is another one that's been a long time coming for this show, not just because it's a giant monster movie, but because it's a specific type of giant monster movie.
I got him point blank.
That's right, it's a shitty CGI giant monster movie. Reptilian is the title of the 2001 North American release of a 1999 Korean monster movie called Yonggary, which was itself a remake of a 1967 Korean monster movie called Yonggary Monster from the Deep. To get you caught up, Yonggary was kind of a Korean take on Godzilla.
Hey! He's dancing!
Yeah, don't worry, that's another one I plan to get to eventually. Anyway, the remake was directed by Korean filmmaker Hyung-rae Shim, who also made Dragon Wars, which is famous for being the most expensive Korean movie ever made. Maybe. The financials are a little sketchy on that one. Now, like Dragon Wars, Reptilian was supposedly the most expensive Korean movie ever made at that time, and was an attempt to try and appeal to the American market. Things did not work out that way. Maybe that had something to do with the way the movie was marketed. Gee, I wonder what they could be going for here. And that's actually a pretty apt comparison, because what the original Yonggary is to the original Godzilla, this movie is to Godzilla 98. Make of that what you will. It's always a bad sign when a movie advertises that there's zero entertainment to be found. Anyway, the movie begins with some characters busy exploring a soundstage. I don't know what they're looking for, but this guy appears to be lost, which gives him something in common with me. One thing you'll quickly notice is that even though this is a Korean production, it was filmed in English and uses mostly American actors.
Oh my god, Professor! Professor! We better check that out, sir!
Wrong. We are too close to turn back now!
Although their line delivery kinda makes it seem like English is a second language. Ooh, looks like there's dinosaur bones in this cave. They even managed to find the elusive Mummy-saurus. Let's see, people in a cave at the beginning of a monster movie? I'm sure they'll be fine. Congratulations, boys, we just struck Nitro. Also, who sat on the reverse button? Okay, so I'm assuming that guy's gonna be the movie's hero? And sorry, fellas, but casting a guy called Cashman isn't going to ensure that your movie's a hit. Meanwhile, in Korean Wing Commander, I don't know, guys, advertising the video game adaptation within the actual movie's a little tasteless, isn't it? And I also don't need to see sex tapes from the drug dealers that helped finance this either.
I got a big, juicy story for you. Now listen, I got one word for you. Dinosaur.
Alright, I'm listening.
Yeah, Bear.
No, I said dinosaur, dipshit. Pay attention. A photographer sent to a dinosaur dig site led by Dr. Campbell, aka Laughing Boy from earlier, who I'm assuming is going to use the bones to try and take over the world or something. Anyway, tell us about the dinosaur.
So just how big is this creature?
Dinosaur. Simply put, 50 times the size of T-Rex.
Whoa. 50? You say 50 times the size of a T-Rex? Are you serious?
Or about half the size of Godzilla, but it doesn't sound as impressive when you put it that way. Speaking of which, this movie can't seem to decide if it wants to be Godzilla 98 or The Fifth Element. No! Steve Railsback and Matilda May were in there! The army better figure out what sci-fi movie they're in quick. Also, whatever happened to that one old guy from the beginning? Oh, never mind, he was working on his creepy serial killer skills.
You shouldn't interfere, Dr. Hughes. You desert our team for 2 years and suddenly you appear.
Wait, so this is supposed to be 2 years after that opening scene? Okay, would have been nice if the movie told us that. Then again, explaining things isn't really this movie's strong suit.
You just can't accept the truth that your assistant, me, was too brilliant even for you.
That's right, you, Dr. Hughes, who was a mentor to me, Dr. Campbell, your assistant, me, Dr. Campbell, me. Hughes wants Campbell to stop digging up the bones, although personally, I don't know if I trust this guy.
Heed my warning or we're all doomed.
What's going on?
Yeah, they just exchanged some clunky exposition, that's about it. I'd be more concerned with the fact that workers at this dig site seem to be ending up dead.
Here we go. It's just an electrical mishap.
It's fine. No need to worry about the 2 dead people on site that I'm clearly trying to cover up. Now get back to work. Holly, however, seems a little concerned.
Do you realize what's at stake here? If that gets out to the authorities, the stick is over.
Something just doesn't seem right.
Oh, what? You mean the 2 people who died on site that your boss isn't reporting?
Think about what's important. Fame and fortune, or obscurity.
Look, there's a much easier way to do this. Just be a smartass on the internet and then you'll get an audience. I'm glad someone finally made a movie that exposes the seedy underbelly of paleontology. Meanwhile, the military is busy trying to figure out just what the hell the spaceships have to do with anything.
We must commence the invasion now. No! They are powerless to stop us.
I don't know if I like the direction they're taking with this new Predator movie. And come on, guys, you can finish the movie's effects later. Right now, something weird's happening with the dinosaur bones.
Hello?
Who do you think is there? He ends up finding another dead worker, and might as well take some pictures. This guy's gonna have to jerk off to something later.
These photographs aren't going to do either of us any good.
Okay, regardless of whether you cover it up or not, I think eventually people are gonna catch on that all your workers have been killed. Seriously, another guy turns up dead the next morning. Listen, fellas, at this point, just walk off the job. The dental benefits clearly aren't worth it.
Whoever wants to leave can leave. But don't forget that you're all illegals, and I'll report every damn last one of you!
Okay, then we'll just tell the police about how you covered up people dying at your dig site. You really don't have much leverage here, pal. Oh wait, I forgot logic has no place in this movie, so I guess he does. And at least Holly has the good sense to quit. Now that she's off work, time to go to the bar and get wired on coffee.
Dr. Hughes?
Hello, Holly. May we talk?
Holly was also hoping to go home with someone a little younger, but I guess he'll do. First, though, he's got to give her some more exposition.
I was on a dig in Southeast Asia when I befriended an old man, and he told me about the legend.
It's a legend.
The legend of Yonggary.
Okay, I would say title drop, but this version is called Reptilian, so
Do I look stupid to you, Doctor?
All right, then, tell me about Campbell. And is there any strange occurrences around the bones?
Yeah, some accidents. Workers killed.
Look, everyone knows paleontologist is the world's #1 most dangerous profession. A few deaths are to be expected. Hughes tells Holly that the alien hieroglyphics reveal a prophecy that Yonggary is going to come back to life, and the aliens are going to use him to try and destroy the world, but if they stop the bones from being dug up, that'll prevent this? Or something like that.
This is too weird.
I'm used to it. Well, looks like they've almost finished digging up the bones. Now they just need to find a museum big enough to put them in. Unfortunately, the aliens go all Independence Day and blast the dig site, causing Yonggary to be brought back to life. Whoa, did I say Independence Day? I meant Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
No! It isn't real!
See, even the characters aren't buying these effects. Although, they're still more believable than some of this dialogue.
You're my creation! I made you!
Believe me, pal, you're not gonna want to take credit for making this. And looks like our villain is dead less than halfway through. I'm so glad they included that character. The aliens also beam Yonggary away, or maybe they just forgot to render him, I don't know. On the plus side though, the army finally has a reason to be in this movie. Better fill him in, Doc.
But if that thing gets to the city, we're all doomed.
The doctor's right. That monster will destroy a city the size of New York like a house of cards.
But because we're in Korea, we'll just have to settle for destroying Seoul. Alright, I know Koreans love the StarCraft games, but this is getting to be a bit much. Because this movie seems intent on being both a giant monster and alien invasion movie, get used to a whole lot of filler scenes of military personnel trying to figure out what to do.
Choppers are airborne, sir.
Good. War room. They want to fight?
They got it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everyone knows you can't fight in the war room. They better think of a plan quick. The aliens just beamed down more CGI test footage. Oh, wait, that's just Yonggary again.
I can't see! Where is it?
What do you mean, where is it? It's right in front of you, dummy. And sure, just try threatening him with a handgun. That worked out great for this guy.
Do you smell it, Doctor? It smells so... old.
Okay, to the actress who had to deliver that line and still managed to do it with a straight face, kudos. Alright, there's only one way to deal with this monster. Time to fight shitty CGI with even more shitty CGI.
Base, we have a visual on the target.
Okay, boys, remember our plan. Fly as close as possible to him until he swats you, and if that doesn't work, try shooting the ground in front of him. On the plus side, at least Yonggary isn't running away from the helicopters like Godzilla 98 did. And we've crossed off almost every other giant monster movie cliche. Might as well add a kooky government agent to talk to the army.
We must do everything in our power to capture these aliens alive.
You must be crazy. We're taking these mothers out.
General Mafia Boss is right. I think it's pretty obvious the aliens are hostile at this point. Not only did they send Yonggary to destroy a city, but he also interrupts this guy while he's getting a handjob in his car. Yonggary begins rampaging through a city that I can only assume is called America Town, and you can tell it's America from all the Asian writing everywhere. You know, instead of shooting the monster, the army should just try using some cheat codes on it. There is, however, one upside to Yonggary's rampage. He spots a busload of American Kennys.
Look at the dinosaur! Wow, he's coming towards us.
You got lucky, kids. And shitty CGI helicopters didn't work against Yonggary. I doubt shitty CGI jets are gonna do anything.
I have lock.
Alright, here's another similarity between this movie and Godzilla 98. The army's aim is about the same as in that movie. With conventional weapons unable to stop Yonggary, or even hit him in the first place, there's only one solution left. We gotta nuke him.
Nuke 'em? General, if we drop the bomb in a major metropolitan area, the collateral damage will be significant.
Look, I wouldn't worry about collateral damage. The army seems to be doing a pretty good job of that already. Can anything possibly stop Yonggary from destroying the city? Or the army from destroying it for him? Oh, thank God. The animator took a break for lunch. Dr. Hughes and Holly go to inform the army about Yonggary, because I guess there's no security clearances here. I think the secret to stopping him lies in this alien poem Dr. Hughes decoded.
And this creature called man will be destroyed by his own intelligence.
What intelligence?
Well, there wasn't any involved in making this movie, that's for sure. So they find out the aliens are controlling Yonggary through a diamond on his head so that they can be reborn after he destroys the Earth? Or something like that. Before they can tell the army that, though, they try dropping some special forces in over the city, which means that this weirdly predicted the 2014 Godzilla movie. And if you thought the effects in this movie have been impressive so far, just wait till you get a load of this. Okay, time for some behind-the-scenes info. After the movie's original release in 1999, the filmmakers decided to upgrade the movie by adding some new scenes, as well as going back and improving the special effects. Now you're probably thinking, well, clearly I picked the old version since that would be easier to make fun of. Nope, this is the improved version. That's right, this is what the movie looked like after they went back and upgraded the effects. What the hell did Yonggary look like before? Was he just an unfinished wireframe animation going around smashing shit up? What's even harder to believe is that this supposedly costs $13.5 million to make, which for comparison is only slightly less than what Ex Machina cost. In fact, if you adjust for inflation, it actually cost a little bit more. Alright, well, sure hope the craft services on this movie were good.
Compared to this guy, Godzilla is a pussy.
No, this movie does not get to call Godzilla a pussy. Hell, compared to the giant claw, Yonggary's a lame-ass monster. Holly and Hughes tell the army to try and hit the diamond on Yonggary's head. Remember, fellas, if he starts flashing red, that's how you'll know it's hurting him. Unfortunately for them, their aim still sucks. They better try and stop Yonggary before he destroys America Town. Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. Oh, what the hell, he is? I was just kidding! One guy manages to kamikaze the diamond, which doesn't do anything, apparently.
Missiles away!
Okay, guys, just stop. You're only helping Yonggary destroy the city faster. Wait a second, what the hell's going on here?
Yonggary just saved those people.
He's on our side, General.
Okay, fine. You would think with Yonggary no longer a threat, the movie would be over, but there's still 15 minutes left, so I guess they gotta fill it with something. The aliens send down another monster to keep destroying the city, although I'm not sure why. Looks like they can just destroy it themselves with their spaceship. Well, maybe this new monster will look a little bit better. Nope. Here's another fun fact about this movie's production. Originally, the monsters were going to be depicted using actors in suits, but partway through they decided to replace them with CGI, and wow, that was a great decision, huh? I don't know what the suits they made looked like on film, but I have a real hard time believing they could have looked worse than this. Hell, a 60s Gamera movie has better effects than this does. You know, I always wondered what it would look like if the Asylum made a mockbuster of the 1998 Godzilla, and now I know. At this point, this movie's making me yearn for the top-notch production values of Ape. At least there, the monster looked like a real guy in a costume. Speaking of which, unlike Ape, there's no rape scenes in this movie, but it does have something else. Oh shit, the new monster has hentai powers! Run, Yonggary!
Get up, Yonggary!
Fight, man, fight!
Telling Yonggary to get good is not helping.
Decapitation!
Alright, so is the monster dead now? Alright, at this point, this movie's starting to get a little far-fetched. Thankfully, even Yonggary's getting a little tired of this shit and decides to just blow it the fuck up.
Is it over?
Almost. There's only a few minutes left. With their monster defeated, the aliens have no choice but to leave the Guyver unit on Earth, or something. By the way, I would make fun of these aliens more, but they're easily the best effects in this movie.
The entire world appreciates everything that you've done.
Thank you, General. But Yonggary should be given the credit. He's the one that turned it around. Saved us all.
He also killed thousands of people before that, so... So with the aliens defeated, the army gives Yonggary a helicopter ride, and Dr. Hughes goes to cry at Tom Hanks' grave. The end. I mentioned at the beginning that Reptilian was made in order to try and appeal to the American market, although considering this 2001 DVD seems to be the only release it ever got in North America, I don't think it really succeeded there, and what little reviews it got were mostly negative. So, is this movie as bad as its reputation?
I'd like you to meet my little friend. Barbecue this, bucko!
Yeah, but the real question is it entertaining? Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag there. Even though it's only an hour and 40 minutes long, it still feels like it could have been shorter, with lots of repetitive scenes of military guys looking at screens, and it also never really gets balls out crazy enough to make it a true cult film. But there is still enough corny acting, bad effects, and incoherent plot lines to make it worth a watch with some friends. And hey, out of all the Korean movies I've done on this show, at least it didn't have this in it.
I'm going to know, I'm going to know, la 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 la.
Well, that's all for now. Until next time.
This place is turning into a freaking prehistoric petting zoo.